ranged from something far darker. Boy in a Band, known for his music and educational content, had cultivated a reputation as a creative and socially conscious YouTuber. He often used his platform to share his rap music,
right here, in the dead of night, I'm thinking one of us will die here. Look at that frightened, better not fight it.
and other musical projects, mixing entertainment with messages that challenged his audience to think critically. But while many remember Boy in a Band for his talent and style, some of his older content hasn't aged quite as well. One of his notable music videos featured a rap verse in which he says, "I was never taught what laws there are."
I was never taught what laws there are. I was never taught what laws there are. Let me repeat.
Back then, it sounded like a deep line about personal struggles or about questioning the rules of society. But over time, allegations came out that made people see the videos differently. Multiple women came forward accusing Boy in a Band of grooming, claiming that his interactions with fans had crossed ethical and legal boundaries, like when he slept with one of his 17-year-old fans and made her sing a song with the lyrics "Take Me Without My Consent," which in many countries would be considered as pedophilia. Suddenly, the video that had once been viewed as an expressive piece of art was reinterpreted by some as unsettling given the new context of these allegations. Some left comments like, "We should have taught him what laws there are," and "You didn't know grooming was illegal." Now, it's important to note that these allegations were never confirmed to be true. Boy in a Band is still innocent until proven guilty, as he never addressed them since he had already left the internet years before the allegations came out. Still, this lyric became a running joke as it seemingly aged like milk. After Boy in a Band's fall from grace, Sunny V2 turned his focus to Logan Paul, whose so-called redemption arc would soon backfire spectacularly. Logan Paul is one of YouTube's most infamous figures, known for his larger-than-life personality and a career full of highs, lows, and public missteps. In Sunny V2's video titled "The Unforeseen Redemption of Logan Paul's Reputation," Logan was portrayed as having finally turned a corner.
Not only did Logan's reputation recover from rock bottom, it's somehow gone well beyond recovery, to the point where the people who used to hate him have now become his biggest fans.
Something that captured the attention of many. The video highlighted his attempts to shift his image, embracing charity work.
Logan Paul would then upload a video titled "Suicide Be Here Tomorrow," in which Logan explained that he planned on personally contributing in order to help the cause.
So I'm pledging to donate $1 million to various suicide prevention organizations.
Taking on professional boxing and presenting himself as a more respectable, accountable figure in the public eye.
Because Logan now had more time on his hands, during which he would begin planning a new internet endeavor. And this new endeavor would be one of the most significant when it came to repairing his reputation and gaining respect from the wider YouTube audience.
Hey yo, what is up? My name is Logan Paul, controversial YouTube star, boxer, ex-vegan, and now I guess podcaster? What?
Fans were invited to believe that Logan had learned from his past controversies, evolving into someone worthy of respect again. But that narrative didn't hold because not long after, Logan's over-the-top ego resurfaced. He later became involved in new controversies, including issues with his Lunchly venture, where moldy cheese was reportedly found in the products, questionable crypto investment promotions, and even highly scrutinized crypto projects where he was accused of scamming his own fanbase. Suddenly, the Sunny V2 video that painted him as reformed aged like milk, with viewers who had embraced the idea of his comeback being forced to reassess. This aged well. Bro did the full redemption spin and begun redemption unwind. The video itself became an example of how fast online narratives can change. From YouTube stars to fitness influencers, the next case dives into the world of the Liver King, a man who built his empire on being natty until the truth came out. Liver King built an empire claiming his shredded physique came entirely from ancestral living. He showcased a lifestyle of raw meat, intense workouts, and what he called ancestral practices, presenting himself as the ultimate example of natural human potential. Fans were captivated, leaving him heartwarming messages like, "Love this. I love the positive vibes, hard work, and enjoying the results. This is what life is about. Awesome, I just subscribed to your channel, Liver King. You're an inspiration." However, the video that would later age the worst was one of his high-profile interviews with Logan Paul, where he empathetically claimed to be completely natty, which means that he was 100% natural and that he never used steroids or enhancements.
There's a lot of subprimals that are convinced that Liver King is taking steroids. Do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these fucking appendages down here, these legs?
Have legs?
Do you see how fucking little my fucking legs are?
At the time, every statement reinforced the idea that his body was earned purely through discipline, diet, and lifestyle. But in 2022, leaked emails revealed the ugly truth that Liver King was spending over $11,000 a month on performance-enhancing drugs. Suddenly, the interview where he claimed to be natty became the centerpiece of ridicule. Even after the discovery, Liver King attempted to respond publicly, but his apology only made things worse. Instead of sincerely addressing the deception, he spent a lot of time bragging about his wealth and the empire he had built.
I've stated that.
Dlaczego sprzedajemy auto? Nasz powód jest prosty.
Miał być do kolana.
No a teraz to my potrzebujemy vana.
Wejdź na milionepowodów.pl i weź udział w konkursie.
W grupie L'Oréal wspieramy wszystkie pokolenia.
This is a complicated as fuck topic, at least to me it is, because before social media, I was rich and anonymous, and after social media, I'm still rich, but no longer anonymous, and I never expected this kind of exposure.
Framing the steroid use as just another part of his lifestyle.
I've done steroids, and yes, I am on steroids, monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician.
Rather than regaining trust, the attempt further damaged his credibility, making the I'm Natty interview look even worse in hindsight. A video that had once inspired millions now was full of lies and poor judgment, causing almost all the videos he had made during his quote natty era to age like milk. However, even honesty can age badly, as Joe Rogan found out when one of his most inspirational interviews turned into a chilling cautionary tale. Sheldon Johnson had spent 25 years in prison after being convicted of serious crimes. Joe Rogan's interview framed him as a man who was wrongfully convicted for murder and manslaughter.
I think that there's a mistake here because it says that he was sentenced to 50 years. I will say this, that he received a sentence that far eclipses a sentence that would be commonly doled out for murder or manslaughter.
But had changed after serving his time in prison. The conversation focused on his personal growth.
He's someone that's taken responsibility for what he did, and I think is a living example of what can happen if someone's life is worth just throwing away and putting behind bars so that they can rot in a dank cell, because he would have been 70 years old.
With Josh Dubin, an attorney who had brought him on the show, going as far as describing him as the following.
Another miracle sitting to my right, just like a marvelous human being who was basically told by an African-American judge that you don't matter.
For viewers, it was a powerful story of redemption, but just 38 days after the interview aired, everything fell apart. Sheldon Johnson was arrested again, this time for murder.
And he boasted about turning his life around after getting out of prison.
Murder, manslaughter, and criminal possession of a weapon. It's a shocking set of charges for a man most recently known for this.
Authorities discovered dismembered body parts belonging to 44-year-old Colin Small inside of Johnson's apartment in the Bronx, New York. He was charged with murder, manslaughter, illegal possession of a weapon, and concealment of a human corpse. Johnson pleaded not guilty at his arraignment and was remanded into custody without bail. The man whose story had been celebrated as a proof of change had returned to a life of violence, making the video that was meant to inspire trust and hope instantly age like milk. Joe Rogan's episode fell apart because of the person he gave the platform to, but EDP445's downfall was entirely his own doing, and no video aged worse than his. Known for his over-the-top humor and loud personality.
Alright y'all, what the fuck it is? It's your boy, Eat That 445, coming back at you, hoe ass, no life, trolling ass.
EDP445 built a massive following on YouTube, connecting with fans in ways that felt energetic and relatable. However, he started facing multiple allegations of inappropriate engagement with minors, and in response, he released a video addressing the allegations, telling his fans,
"If you honestly believe that I'm a motherfucking pedophile, you're fucking high."
At the time, some viewers accepted his apology, taking his words at face value. But everything unraveled in April 2021 when YouTuber Alex Rosen set up a sting operation posing as a 13-year-old girl named Sophie. He orchestrated conversations with EDP that escalated to explicit content, resulting in a meeting arranged under the pretense of delivering a cupcake.
Well, I was actually coming out here to pick up a cupcake and then go back home.
When confronted at the location, EDP claimed he had only come for the cupcake, even though he knew well that he had come to pick up a minor. The incident was recorded and uploaded, instantly going viral as the cupcake incident. Suddenly, the apology video meant to defend his reputation looked painfully misleading, with viewers leaving comments like, "He did indeed throw his life away for all that." And it hurts watching this years later because every part of me wanted to believe him. What had been intended as accountability now served as a reminder that his earlier statements were false and completely out of touch with reality. The cupcake incident shows just how quickly a video meant to protect an image can age like milk, especially when real-world evidence exposes the truth. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like these ones as well, and don't forget to subscribe.
Czy polska rakieta znowu odpali?
Czy czap nas wysłucha?
Czy świat nas
The 7 deadly sins. That is what we're going to be talking about today, okay? We are going to be going through the entirety of fiction, and we are going to be finding one character that I gotta...
Hey, what's in your hands?
There's nothing in my hands.
What's in your hands?
Nothing, I
Open your
swear.
hands.
All right.
Oh, what are you, a comedian?
Hey, he's got a gun!
Yo, bro, how long you been driving Uber for?
You better answer. We're gonna give you 1 star.
1 star, bro.
1 star.
1 star.
You guys are in a lot of trouble, right?
Now, how'd you get the damn phone back there? I searched you. Citation
You're
for going.
writing me a ticket?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you know who my father is?
Why? Didn't your mother tell you?
You're gonna miss your court date, man. What are you doing 2 years for?
Assault on an officer.
What?
Ready, set, go.
I got blackmailed.
Give me the bag. Hey, what's in your hands?
There's nothing in my hands.
What's in your hands?
Nothing, I
Open your
swear.
hands.
All right.
The 7 deadly sins. That is what we're going to be talking about today, okay? We are going to be going through the entirety of fiction, and we are going to be finding one character that I gotta preface this, that I believe is the greatest representation or personification of this trait, okay? I mean everything from sloth to gluttony to lust, greed, wrath, envy, and of course the big one, pride. Where you will find a character that I believe is the best representation of these, and honestly, we're going to be having a lot of fun along the way, okay? I wanted to try a different type of video style for this Tuesday, because Tuesdays and Thursdays seem to be the video days that I can, like, test out new stuff, and one that y'all have, like, requested, because I noticed, weirdly enough, and I'm not trying to be, like egotistical about it, y'all really seem to like when I talk about morality. And it's weird how, like, consistently good these videos do. And I'm over here like, well, I guess I'll give you guys another morality video if you guys want to hear me yap about the amount of sloth that Patrick Starr have and the fact that, like, it's basically biblical level of sloth at this point. Like, there's a lot that we're going to be talking about in this video, okay? We're going to be covering characters.
Coraline is just one of those movies. This movie is extremely memorable. The first time I watched it, I was in the 3rd grade. And I'm not gonna lie to you, much like everything else back then, I didn't know what was going on. I loved every part of it. The stop motion animation, the Alice in Wonderland vibe, the character designs. All of it was just perfection. There was one thing that I didn't like about it back then. One thing that I actually love about it now. The big reason this movie's so popular. That's how scary it is. You see, this isn't your average run-of-the-mill scary movie. This isn't Rent is Due Tomorrow scary, telling your crush you like them scary, or even that kind of scary. This is creepy. From beginning Getting to end, this movie has you confused, creeped out, and contemplating why you even watched it, especially the ending. It gets weird. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going over by far one of the most terrifying movies in existence. So grab your popcorn, get your favorite stuffed animal, and try not to. So the first thing we open up to is a disturbing voodoo looking doll being made by a mysterious hand. Ooh, creepy. And then we see it get sent off into space or sky, or I don't know how this works. And you're probably wondering, who is that hand? And to that I say, why would I tell you, dummy? Then we cut to this beautiful home called the Pink Palace Apartments. It's located deep in the mountains, in the middle of nowhere, and oh my goodness, does it suck. Look how gray it is. No joke, this is how it feels to live in New York sometimes. They got a blue Russian man dancing on the roof, an obese lady downstairs. Look, she even got the stair elevator thing, you know, the that thing. We see a family moving in who are clearly not that good of people. Either that or they're broke, because they gave the mover a freaking $1 tip. What are you supposed to do with that? Buy in Arizona? And this is the family of no other than Coraline, our main character. He has blue hair, likes to explore, and honestly can make a lot better decisions. Y'all gonna see. But she's 11 years old, so I digress. We see her get scared by this harmless little black cat, like so relatable. Then we see her meet the only other kid in this movie. Well, the only other kid that we see alive. Why were you born Wybie? Which is a hideous name. Your mommy and daddy definitely don't love. He tells Coraline that his granny owns the Pink Palace, and normally she doesn't rent to people with kids, which is very suspicious if you ask me. Why were you born runs home and Coraline gets a rash on her hand. Then we cut back to Coraline's home where she's bored out of her mind. And this is where we meet Coraline's parents, who when I was younger, I thought were terrible parents. But nah, they're just trying to put money on the table and Coraline is constantly bored. They are struggling. That explains why they gave bro a $1 tip. They can't even afford to give him a $2 tip. Like, look at the mom. She literally has a neck brace on because he got into a car accident on the way up there. So you know that cost him some money. Then look at this fridge. Tell me, what are you gonna make in there? And then finally, the dad. Look at this man. He looks like he just stayed up all night editing a freaking Netflix documentary. Anyways, Coraline gets a voodoo doll sent to her by Wybie, and it looks suspiciously similar to the one in the intro. Don't know why she would keep the doll, especially if she just met Wybie and he sent her this. Like, is that not weird? But like I said, she's 11, so I digress. Coraline's dad tells her to explore the house, you know, count the doors, kill some bugs, look out the window, maybe even unpack hold up, Detroit? When Coraline stumbles across a small door in the living room. After her freaking doll teleported next to it, like, come on, you gonna tell me you didn't question how she got there? Coraline tries to open the door, but it's locked, so she calls in her mom to open it. She looks so mad, it's hilarious. Coraline's mama opens the door, and it's just a brick wall. Later that night, Coraline goes to sleep after the worst looking dinner I've ever seen in a movie. Like, damn, bro, I get that you guys are broke, struggling, but come on, y'all just whip up an egg. But as Coraline is sleeping, these mice start manifesting in the brick wall behind the small door, really embracing that NYC lifestyle I mentioned earlier. These same mice eventually lead Coraline back to the small door, but when she opens it this time, it's a blue portal. And I'll be damned if I went in there without knowing what's on the other side. Definitely not now, and definitely not when I was a kid. Coraline goes through the portal because she's braver than me, and when she gets on the other side, it's not something you would expect. She goes through, and it's the exact same room she was just in, but something feels a little different. Then she walks into the kitchen and sees her mom, but with buttons instead of eyes. This is her other mother. I don't know how she's so composed. I would have been screaming right now. This is how it would look in real life to have button eyes.
Trayvon, just go to the office.
What'd I do?
Just go to the office.
What'd I do?
Go, just go.
What did I?
Hi.
Okay.
Brother, how you doing? Whoa, whoa. Hold on, man. Hold on. I know, man. You worked a long time. Oh, man, no, man. What the hell? Oh, my God. No way.
Hi.
Hi. Yo, what the fuck?
Hi.
What the fuck? Hi. Hi.
You need to leave.
Trayvon, just go to
Coraline is just one of those movies. This movie is hair, likes to explore, and honestly can make a lot better decisions. Y'all gonna almost across a small eyes. This is her other mother. I don't know how she's so composed. I would have been. Yeah, no, I'm breaking down in tears. So the other mother was actually whipping up some dinner for Coraline, which is pretty convenient considering the other stuff that she had to eat. It's almost like she knew. And while she waits for dinner, Coraline meets the other father. Coraline's other father is an interesting character because he's a king. So he sings a song for her and then dinner is ready. Hey, I can't lie. This food looks finger licking good. They even had a little gravy train and then the magical cake. Maybe this world isn't so bad. Coraline heads to bed where she has stuffed animals that talk, bugs that talk, pictures of people talking. Wow, this dude is hideous. Coraline goes to sleep and sadly wakes up back to a no gravy train having reality. On the bright side though, her rash is gone. Bad side, door is closed. And her parents are not believing a single word that she says about the other world. Her mom sends her to go meet the neighbors downstairs, but before she does that, we meet the dancing blue Russian man, Mr. Babinski. When I first watched the movie, I was suspicious since the mice came from his apartment, but he actually warns Coraline, telling her, Caroline, the mice.
Jumping mice?
The mice said do not go to little door. They said it is dangerous. Heartbeat. Coraline goes downstairs where she meets Spink and Forcible. My goodness, are these two a lot? First of all, they have like 18 dogs. They argue over everything. And later in the movie, I don't even want to talk about it yet. So these two are into that magic stuff, you know, fortune telling. And Miss Spink tells Coraline she sees danger in her future, while Miss Forcible says she sees a giraffe in her future. But either way, to be very, very careful. And then she leaves. Coraline sees Why Do You Exist, YB? And he tells her that he's never been inside the Pink Palace because it's dangerous. And his grandma had a twin sister who disappeared there when they were little. And on top of that,
I gotta go.
very suspicious indeed. Must be the giraffe. Later that night, we see Coraline leave out some cheese for the mice, who again lead her back to the portal. And again, she sees the other mother, who's again whipping up some dinner for her. And she sends Coraline to go get the other father, because he's as hungry as a pumpkin. And when Coraline goes outside, she sees this beautiful garden. I mean, it's magnificent. I don't know if Coraline's that dark, my boy. After dinner, other mother introduces Coraline to mute YB, and he can't talk. Coraline, is that not weird? Coraline and mute YB go watch a show hosted by Button Eye Mr. Babinski. It's nice, it's fun. Coraline goes to bed with 3 people watching her. I don't know how she does this. She wakes up back to the terrible reality, and when she runs to check the door this time, it's locked. Coraline asks her mom why she locked the door, which she proceeds to say is because she found rat boo-boo on the floor. That's disgusting. Coraline goes all emo white kid on her mom, saying, "Get the freak out of my house, mom!" And that's exactly what she does. But while she's gone, Coraline finds the key in a pretty dumb hiding spot in my opinion. She opens the portal, this time during the day, and goes through and meets the other cat, or at least what she thought was the other cat. He's really just a regular cat. It just happens that he can hop dimensions and talk in this one. He tells Coraline that this world may seem to be all peaches and roses, but it's not. The mute mute Wybie told him so. Kitty Cat runs off. Coraline and mute Wybie go to Spink Enforceable show. And my goodness, this is probably the most out-of-pocket stuff I've seen in a kid's movie. This is what I was alluding to earlier. I can't show it on YouTube because YouTube might snipe this video off the face of the earth, but trust me, it's bad for a PG movie. Just imagine the Little Mermaid was built like Ursula. That's all I'm gonna say. After the show, Coraline goes back up to the house with her other parents. This is where stuff starts getting very disturbing. When they get back upstairs, the other parents offer Coraline to stay here forever. Infinite food, infinite events, infinite gravy trains, and obviously Coraline is very happy to do so. But the condition is, in order to stay forever, Coraline would have to sew buttons into her eyes. And it gets worse, because after Coraline says no and tries to run upstairs, she finds out she cannot go home.
Żeby jechać za lodem 2000 km, no to trzeba mieć troszeczkę nie po kolei w głowie.
Zobacz cały film Wyzwanie lodu z nową elektryczną Skodą Enyaq 4x4.
Espresso czy lungo? Z innowacyjnym ekspresem Philips Baristina to banalnie proste.
Coraline tries to run away and runs into the kitty again, where he reveals the truth. The other mother pretty much created this whole world to impress Coraline. But why? Well, she might want to eat her. Kitty Cat kills one of the mice who tried to warn the other mother of Coraline's arrival. Guess you could call him a rat? And Coraline goes back inside to try and get through the little door. But she's stopped by this huge Sam Sulek looking cockroach, which ends up being a whole room of insect furniture with the other mother waiting for her. Ugh, even a bug chair? That's nasty. Coraline and the other mother argue, and the other mother reveals her true form. Well, like stage 1 of her true form, which is bony, creepy, and tall. Like, what are you doing? The Lakers need a backup center, my boy. Other mother locks Coraline behind a mirror where she meets the ghost of the Beldam, aka the other mother's previous victims. My goodness. They ended up going through with the button procedure and getting Ian alive. By the way, this one right here is Wybie's grand auntie that went missing. Rest in peace, my boy. They asked Coraline to help find their eyes before she escapes in order to free their souls. Yeah, you're tripping. I'm supposed to risk getting Ian because y'all were dumb enough to put buttons into your eyes? The Pilgrim Kid, I'll cut you some slack. Life must have sucked back then, I know. Latest time in your life must have been the Salem witch trials. Coraline agrees to help the kids when she's suddenly pulled out by these mysterious hands, which just ends up being the mute Wybie, whose mouth got freaking sewn into a smile on some Joker stuff by the other mother. That's messed up. He helps Coraline escape back through a little door, sadly unable to escape himself since he's made out of sand. Rest in peace, my boy mute Wybie. Coraline gets on the other side, locks the door, and she's finally home. But the house is empty. Then she hears the doorbell ring. Opens it, and it's "Why were you conceived, Wybie?" Coraline tells him about everything that's happened, and he's pretty much like, yeah, she's crazy. Coraline's parents are missing, so obviously she goes to the incredible Spink Enforceable for some help. That's where they give her a handy dandy crystal that you could look through. That'll be important later. Coraline cries herself to sleep like a baby. Relatable. When she's woken up by the kitty in the middle of the night, he shows her that her parents have been captured. The other mother has taken them. Coraline finally gets rid of the doll, goes into her Terminator mode. She's determined to save her parents now, so she suits up and ventures back to the other world with a plan. Oh, heck no. What happened to the other father? Coraline challenges the other mother to a game. Coraline has to find the ghost kid's eyeballs and her parents, and if she loses, she has to sew buttons into her eyes. They agree. Coraline goes to the first location, the garden. She finds out the crystal the old ladies gave her allows her to see through walls and locate the kid's eyes. Very convenient. Other father, like the king he is, gives Coraline the first eye. R.I.P. the king. Next location is the theater, where other Spink Enforceable are actually 2 pieces of candy. Coraline makes a bunch of bats swarm them and she takes a second eyeball, which leaves her with one final eyeball and her parents left. Last location is a circus tent with other Mr. Babinski, who actually turns out to be controlled by a bunch of rats. And while the rats are running away with the eyeball, Coraline decides to throw her most useful item out the freaking door. Luckily, Kitty Cat caught the rat, and the whole other world starts crumbling since Coraline drained it of its power. Coraline finally confronts the other mother, who is now, what happened to you? Who is now freaking full spider mode. Other mother doesn't let Coraline leave because she hasn't found her parents yet. But Coraline does an insanely smart play and distracts the other mother long enough to find the snow globe where her parents are trapped. Derek FDB levels of intelligence if I do say so myself. Coraline throws her only ally at the other mother, and while he scratches away at her face, Coraline takes approximately 6 to 8 business days just to start moving. But then by the time she does, the other mother goes X Games mode and makes a huge spider web and starts tweaking. Coraline narrowly escapes through the small door thanks to some anime logic afterlife help from the ghost children, and finally frees her parents from the horrible clinches of Detroit. Am I too mean to Detroit in some of these videos? Here, I'll pick another city to pick on. I got y'all. The wheel spoke, guys. It's out of my hands. Coraline's parents don't actually remember anything, so Coraline's the only one who knows anything that happened. But it's not over yet. Later at night, after having a dream with the 3 ghost children, they tell her she's still in danger and has to get the key as far away as possible. So Coraline decides to go take it to the well, and right as she's about to drop it in there, the other mother's hand comes out of nowhere from the top rope and starts scrapping with Coraline. But luckily, our boy, why did your parents have to meet YB, comes out of nowhere and grabs the hand, helping Coraline smash it and throw it into the well. The movie ends with Coraline and all her neighbors working on the garden, and we finally get to meet Y-Born's granny. This movie teaches you appreciation, because it's way better to live with the parents that you may argue and fight with than to have a beautiful fantasy world where you get stupid amounts of food and whatever you want, but in exchange, you gotta sew buttons into your eyes. Would it really be that bad though? JK, JK. If something like that happened to me though, I know exactly what to do. What the?
I don't even look like this.
Too easy.
Podaruj więcej czasu najbliższym. Milka.
As a kid, my relationship with the horror movie genre was like my relationship with my father. I'll leave it at that. The point is, if it had to do with horror, I was afraid of it, I hated watching it. I wanted nothing to do with it. But there was one movie that was different. One movie that I couldn't even finish because of how scared I used to get. But at the same time, I would always come back and watch. One movie that gave me that same creepy feeling that Coraline gave. And that movie was Monster House. When I tell y'all this movie used to have me sobbing, hiding, sobbing, I'm not lying. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be going over Monster House. And if Coraline's the scariest kids movie, this is the creepiest kids movie. So y'all know the drill. Grab your popcorn, get your stuffed animal, and try not to... I bet you thought I was gonna jump scare. The movie opens with an orange leaf floating after falling off a tree. So, you know what that means. Yeah, this movie's taking place in the spookiest season of all, the fall, which for the record is at least top 2 out of all 4 seasons, and it ain't 2, don't at me. We see this gap-toothed little girl riding her tricycle down the suburban neighborhood singing when she gets stuck on a patch of grass, which would normally be no big deal. But she ain't get stuck just on any patch of grass. She got stuck in front of this creepy, old, abandoned looking house. The type of house you see crackheads living out of. And what comes out that house may resemble a crackhead, but it's in fact worse. An angry old white man. This is Mr. Nevercracker, a grouchy, creepy old man who owns the house. And he used to terrify me as a kid. I don't know if it was a teeth. I think it was a teeth. But the sight of this man was enough to make me start having those nightmares. He starts yelling at the little girl to get off my lawn! And he asks her if she wants to be eaten alive. The little girl says, nah, and runs away. As the old man is walking back inside, we see the POV of someone watching him through a telescope. And it's our main character, DJ, who's spying on the old man, and apparently has been for a while. You know, I get it, the video games weren't as cool back then, but bro, just read a book or something. What are you doing? His parents were about to leave on a trip, call him downstairs, and he starts telling them how there's something strange happening with that house across the street, and that old man Nevercracker keeps stealing kids' tricycles. His mom pretty much tells him to go touch some grass and stop spying on old people. That's what I'm saying. And after his parents leave, we meet DJ's best friend, Chowder. He's named after food because he's fat, by the way. Standard practice. DJ and him start discussing Halloween and how DJ's too old for it now. Too old? Nick, I'm gonna be trick-or-treating at least until I get my pension. I don't know what DJ's talking about. And while trying to cheer up DJ with his super tight handles, hey, okay, LaChow James. Chowder accidentally shoots the basketball off his face into Nevercracker's lawn. Well, I guess he got a new ball. Let's go, Chowder. Chowder starts begging DJ to go get his ball back for him, and after some convincing, DJ decides to go. But as he's running to get the ball, old man Nevercracker comes out the shadows and spots him. Nevercracker starts attacking DJ, and in his panic, DJ accidentally messes up Nevercracker's lawn. Uh-oh. Nevercracker starts flipping out. He picks up DJ and just starts yelling,
You wanna be a dead person? Why can't you just stay away from her?
Nevercracker out of nowhere just collapses, and he doesn't get up. They even called in an ambulance. DJ and Chowder were in shock. They actually just witnessed someone's HP go to 0